A fake soldier who calls himself Toujours has been arrested and thrown behind bars at the Pumpumere Gendarmerie Brigade in GAROUA in the north region of Cameroon. He specializes in defrauding parents who are interested in having their children join the military corps. And the price of a 200 kilogram of bread today, November 2, has dropped from 150 to 135 francs CFA. Conclusion of a consultation between Trade Minister and bakers, a solution that raises another phenomenon managing the 15 francs reimbursement, especially coins scarcity in Cameroon. Those are major stories. Details right ahead. Good evening once more. A lady is presently under police custody after she was suspected of having instructed her daughter to poison her classmates. The lady is reported to have been angered by the fact that classmates of her daughter always consume her snacks, leaving her daughter hungry. More on the story with our student journalist on internship, Kizi Kiga.
From initial investigation, the suspect had put some rat poison in a snack, which her daughter was supposed to give to her classmate, who regularly eat her snack during break hour. The worst was avoided when a bread vendor just beside the school eardrops when the suspect was giving instructions to her daughter to hand over the poisoned food to her classmate. She narrates how it happened. This woman, since the school started, she has been complaining every morning that other children always ask her child snacks. Sometimes they ask for water. Every day she complains. Yesterday she left her home with bread for 10 francs each. She arrived here and asked me to put butter inside. At around 5 p.m., she came to take the child. I was at that other side, and she stopped to buy an egg for her child. I overheard her asking her child if his friend had eaten that bread, and the child said no, that the headmaster took it. If they didn't succeed to eat it today, then they will eat it tomorrow. This is what happened in the evening after school. Another eyewitness says that the suspect behaves strange. When she comes with her child, she comes with the child with that uniform. When she arrives here, she undresses the child and dresses him here. After school, she changes his uniform before going back home. When asked why, she says it is her private life, that her private life is complicated. When the school authority got the embarrassing news, they called on the forces of law and other enforcement into this matter. I had to give her a convocation because of her declaration. She openly declared this was serious. I insisted she declared that she will harm the kids. It is from her declaration that she was given a convocation. Though the unbelievable was avoided, the child has been withdrawn from Le Petit Génie Nursery and Primary School in Dokpasi.
And a fake soldier who calls himself Toujours has been arrested and thrown behind bars at the GAROUA Gendarmerie Brigade. The species specializes in defrauding parents who are interested in having their children join the military corps. Gladys Ambodibang reports.
He is a 27-year-old man, according to one of his identification documents. He was intercepted on his way to his crime scene. He specializes in mobile money transaction theft.
Il est spécialisé dans les escroqueries.
He specializes in defrauding people through mobile money transactions. He receives huge sums of money from them, especially potential young soldiers who have interest in joining the corps, saying he works for the Rapid Intervention Battalion B and can facilitate their recruitment.
D'énormes sommes d'argent pour le recrutement du commando de BIR.
The alleged suspect presented himself as a soldier of the Rapid Intervention Brigade of the military, as warrant officer deployed in Poli in the Faro Division after investigation by gendarmes of the Pumpumere Brigade in GAROUA. The truth was revealed.
Il a soutenu Mordicus, qui est sergent du BIR.
He insisted he was a warrant officer of the Rapid Intervention Battalion of the military. But after verifications, he confessed he is a fake soldier. The population should be vigilant, especially during periods when recruitments are launched, because such men will always be out there searching for parents to dupe.
Des individus comme ce gars-ci sont dehors pour escroquer les parents.
After investigations and a search of his house, these different military attires and documents were found. The fake soldier will appear before the competent authority to answer to his crime.
And the price of a 200-gram loaf of bread today, November 2, has dropped from 150 to 135 francs. A CFA conclusion of a consultation between the Minister of Trade, Luc Magua Balga Fangana, and bakers, a solution that roses another phenomenon managing the 15 francs reimbursement, especially coins of scarcity. But good news or a bad problem? Question thrown to bread consumers this day in the nation's political capital Yaoundé. Beatrice Ngamo reports.
The early morning discord between the shop owner and customer is around the new price. Coming to get his 200-gram bread at 135 francs, the store owner said he's not aware of that. True, the price for this bread size has dropped from 150 to 135 francs, beginning today, Monday, November 2nd, 2022. Some bakeries are having the new price tag pasted. The consequence of the reduction in the bag of flour, down also by 3,000 francs. Trade Minister and bakery owners then reached this agreement to bring down the price. Good news or additional problem? The new issue at stake. One needs to come with a set amount or forget the rest. The solution just enters the general cry of coin scarcity. Reimbursing 15 francs, the new equation to handle.
On peut rembourser, on peut même donner au cube pour augmenter, pour que ça soit 150.
Or better still, many in charge have developed ideas to strike a balance. They are now having items to make up the 15 francs.
And a heavy downpour in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé, that was yesterday completely paralyzed activities around Carrefour Kennedy, with many describing circulation as a nightmare. Many were trapped in the floods, as our reporter Beatrice Ngamo reports.
Passing through Avenue Kennedy in Yaoundé this Wednesday goes with great gymnastics. The rain these days have imposed its own style to move around this area. Flood is the other year. The roads have become special yellow-brownish pool mastered by the fittest.
Les pluies de chaque jour, là, ça a créé une mer Kennedy.
Les piétons ne parviennent pas à circuler. Comment ici dans l'eau?
While pedestrians are struggling to make do with high verandas, the yellow cabs, like other cars, do with the water. In such a situation, activities around that stretch has been brought to a slowdown, as traders and customers separated by water.
Ce qui fait que nos clients, nos ventes sont revues en baisse. Donc c'est vraiment très difficile.
The general cry is for lasting solution to solve this obstacle. But before the powers that be commit, temporary solutions imperative. The mission of these young guys inside the water, doing their best with their own technology.
Donc chaque moment c'est comme ça qu'on fait durant toute la saison pluvieuse.
Au gouvernement, à la communauté urbaine de Yaoundé, au maire, au super-maire, de nous aider, de nous voir cette situation, parce que c'est trop grave et tout.
Le gouvernement trouve une solution par rapport à cela. Vraiment, c'est très difficile et de nourrir même nos familles.
Technology to survive with this neighbor. Always there, especially when it rains. The rainy season has come, so too the floods. Not only here at Avenue Kennedy, but in many other areas and neighborhoods.
And people living with disability are raising awareness to prove to the society that being physically challenged is not a barrier. They met under the umbrella of an association dubbed Douala Handi Days, November 2, 2023, ahead of the 32nd edition of the International Day of Persons with Disability come December 3, 2023. More on the story with our reporter, Sherifa Saleh.
The aim of their meeting, November 2, 2023, is to question the socio-economic reinsertion of people with disabilities in society. They have put forward their grievances to the representative of the Divisional Delegate of Social Affairs for Vuri Division. We have been working on their grievances. We cannot have the results all at once. It is a battle that we are all fighting together for the promotion and protection of the rights of people with disabilities. Through the Douala Handi Days concept, they intend to make a point of honor on taking into account the disability dimension in all sectors of activity. We want to put together a document that will allow us to be a reference for social and socio-professional reintegration for people with disabilities. This is done ahead of the 32nd edition of the International Day of Persons with Disabilities come December 3rd, 2023, which the association Douala Handi intends to mark the day.
And Cameroon is seeking British expertise in the use and teaching of standard English in secondary schools. Discussion of visiting British Council, the Rector for International Operations, Charlie Walker, had with Secondary School Education Minister Nalova Lyonga in Yaoundé, possible especially with the expertise offered by the British Council. Beatrice Ngamo completes that story.
With her bilingual nature, Cameroon adopted English and French as official languages. The obligation to teach the right standards challenging.
It is not our language, and we cannot pretend to say that we have the standard. We have the standard, and we want to learn that standard and to teach it.
COVID-19 distance learning helped with digitalization. She intends to follow the British step.
The British Council's area of expertise is really around helping teachers and trainers develop the skills they need to make lessons engaging for learners.
Secondary Education Minister Nalova Lyonga, in a discussion with the visiting British Council Director for International Operations, announced the opening of English language laboratories.
We are interested to establish a language laboratory for English, and you can do that for us. We can have connections in that area.
Partnership, the British High Commissioner says they are ready to support the Council.
I've seen their great potential, their great competencies, linguistic diversity, technological skills.
The visiting British Council Director for International Operations, Charlie Walker, had the opportunity to visit the British Council and partner structures involved in English language teaching, preparatory classes, language tests, exams and results to foster the use of standard English in the country.
And we take you out of the country. Canada is betting on economic immigration to attract workers in the coming years. Its population is increasingly aging and the workforce is highly sought after. But contrary to the announcement, the government will limit the number of foreigners to be welcomed in 2025 and much more rather than constantly increasing its quotas. 5 million people have applied for immigration to Canada, and before the media, the Canadian Minister of Refugee, Immigration and Citizenship confirmed the new 2023-2026 immigration plan with an increase in the immigration threshold to 485,000 new arrivals in 2024. The minister also validated the maximum threshold already announced last year of 500,000 additional residents per year from 2024 25. Elsewhere, the war between Israel and Hamas enters its 27th day this Thursday. Dozens of wounded Palestinians and foreigners were allowed to evacuate from Gaza to Egypt since October 7. 1,400 Israelis have been killed, including 332 soldiers, 240 people who held hostage by Hamas. 9,061 Palestinians died in Gaza, according to the latest figures published at the British Council. And that brings us to the end of this edition of the Prime Time Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Thanks so much for watching. But coming up next is The Brief with Lil Peugeot. As for me, I will be back same time tomorrow. And good night.